A new study revealed that kids as young as 11 and 12 years old are using dating apps that are designed for adults.
Are you surprised?
Not really.
Wait, I kind of am. What?
Yeah, researchers found that a small percentage of 10,000 children analyzed in the study had used a dating app. Boys were more likely than girls due to higher screen time, keywords there, and a desire to explore virtual relationships.
How are we dating at age 11?
Just online.
Because kids are discovering stuff online. And you go to the website, you're 18, right? Yep, sure am.
Because
Click, I'm in.
They have smartphones with apps that provide them the ability to do this.
Because their parents felt the need to give them an iPhone at age 5.
And do nothing and to monitor it or keep them safe from what's...
Oh, he's on the hub. It's so cute.
When I was 11, I knew that a boy liked me because he started leaving me lifesavers in my desk. And it was the sweetest thing in the entire world.
Oh, that's cute.
Okay.
That's how we did it at Valley Forge Elementary.
That's great.
You guys want to hear something crazy and creepy? When I was in college, if there was a girl I liked, like if I would go and I knew where she lived, so I would leave her a flower on her car.
Aww.
You know how creepy that sounds now?
No, it's cute, though.
I'd just hide in their trunk.
It's always a white rose because then you knew it was from me. But that's creepy now. Now that I look at that, I'm like, I drove out of my way to someone's house that didn't know I was going to be there, violated their property to leave a flower on their car. I'm a creeper.
Oh, no. I feel like you're reading way too much into that. That's sweet. That's a nice little gesture.
The text us at 99700. Is that creepy or
I
is
think
that
it's creepy.
sweet?
Leaving a flower? How old were you?
18, 17?
You think that's creepy to leave a girl a flower on her car?
On their 36.
I think that's so sweet. What, am I nuts? That's so nice.
See, now I look at
You were like hanging around outside her house with binoculars.
Well, I waited
you were
till
leaving
she-
her a flower.
I waited until she was asleep.
So what? That's the best time to do something sneaky.
Creepy.
It's not creepy. It's just covert.
All right, well, so these kids that are using these dating apps kind of blew me away, but this brings me to the next thing, which I mentioned was this Tucson teacher who quit. And man, just listening to this guy talk, it makes me think about all the teachers in this country, and we're out of time here, but I will play the audio of this teacher explaining why he quit his job. Doug says leaving the flower wasn't creepy. The fact that you were hiding across the street in the bush is.
I was being covert, Doug.
Amanda says it was absolutely sweet. Mary says very sweet gesture. Evelyn says it would only be creepy if you left the flower on her nightstand, Lewis.
Oh, yeah.
She says a boy used to leave a Mountain Dew on our porch for my daughter. It was really cute. And she thinks you should look up this girl and see if she thought it was creepy or sweet.
She's dead now. I can't.
Oh, my gosh. Okay.
She is.
That's very sad.
Yeah, very much so.
We have to wonder what would have happened had you not left the rose for her.
No, we ended up dating for 6 or 7 months.
Oh, so she did like it.
Yeah, we
know
ended up
the
dating for
answer
6
to
or 7
that.
months.
There you go.
Well, I'm sorry about that sad end to her story.
She was in she was in abusive relationships, and I met her at the time when I thought I could save people. So,
oh, jeez.
But she's a great girl. I mean, she just got really, really sick. In fact, right before I looked into her, right before I moved back to Ohio, and I had found out she had passed.
Did we read Delaney's text on the air?
Oh, now you're asking? Why don't you just read it?
Well,
I don't think so. I don't think we read
so
it.
when I was in 8th grade, I knew a guy liked me when he started drawing pictures of me and leaving them in my locker.
That was funny when Kelly read it.
So it was on the air.
I'm kidding. No,
I thought we read it off the air. That's why.
No, it did not.
It does remind me of Napoleon Dynamite when he drew the picture of Trisha and he couldn't quite get the shading on her upper lip right.
That is a challenge.
That's great.
It is a challenge.
So we're just talking about these kids as young as 11 and 12 years old who are using adult dating apps.
Yes.
It's crazy, and the only kids doing that are the ones who have smartphones that were given to them by their parents, and their parents are not monitoring what they're doing.
What are your options as an 11-year-old? Adults? That's your options on the if you're on Hinge or whatever as an 11-year-old. Your options to date are adults.
Yeah, they don't really have kid
You don't
dating
have
apps.
a bunch of kids on there to choose from.
No, very few, but there's a couple, I guess.
I'm surprised someone hasn't started a kid
It's
dating
also
app.
the percentage goes way up among kids in the LGBTQ community because it's easier for them to find, like-minded people.
Here's what you need to do. Remember how we used to have pen pals before the internet age? We should do sort of like a similar thing for kids. It's like an online email pal or something. You could get pals
Kid
online.
friends. Yeah.
Now,
Well,
I know
then
that's
you-
going to go sideways in 15 different ways. I get it.
Because
But
the adults, there's some creepy ass adults.
What if you just
did-
Going to come start leaving white roses in the dating?
What if we
app?
did elementary school speed dating?
Well, here's the thing. As an Arizona teacher, been teaching for over a decade, he's leaving his job. His name's Michael Rutherford. He's a biology teacher at Sahoro High School in Tucson. He's 35. He's grown frustrated by the cell phone problem, which he believes got a lot worse after schools closed down during COVID-19. He said, I was beginning to think I was the problem, and he said students would tell him that they did not care about their grades. And at this high school, the teachers are left to enforce the school's rule against cell phones. It's up to the teachers to police the kids in their classrooms, and the kids are not paying attention. And before the pandemic shut down, Rutherford said students were, more likely to obey the teachers when they were asked to put their phones away. He said, but it became much more difficult afterwards because kids got, when we were isolated, kids got so addicted to their phones. And here's Rutherford talking about it.
I've been struggling with mental health this year, mostly because of what I identified as basically just phone addiction with the students. This year, something shifted, and it's just like they're just numbing themselves. They're just checking out of society. They're just like, can't get rid of it, can't put it away. Opioids, obviously a huge problem. Cocaine, heroin, all of those drugs, alcohol, it's all a big problem. But like sugar even greater than that, and then phones even greater than that. As a society, we need to prioritize educating our youth and protecting and allowing their brains to, and social skills and happiness to develop in a natural way without their phones.
Man, I agree.
Yeah.
The girl in our house is straight up addicted to her phone. Like, cannot put it down.
And I mean, it can be as bad as other stuff, right? I mean, this addiction.
She gave herself less time than she needed to get to work yesterday, but was up for 2 hours prior to needing to be to work, but spent the majority of it on the phone.
Yeah, I'm not going to deny that there's cell phone addiction out there. I might be addicted myself. However, I will say we have always been dead set as youngsters to A, not paying attention in class, and B, communicating with our friends. When I tell you I have a garbage bag full of notes that my friends and I sent back and forth in high school,
Yep.
we spent our class time writing notes to each other, folding them in those cool football-shaped things,
Yep.
and then hiding them, in the class for our friends who came in the next class.
But you know
we
what?
did that all day, every day.
But you know what the difference is? Kids now on their cell phones do not have the reality check that is the embarrassment of having one of the notes you were writing in class caught and read to the entire
Right,
class. And
that's
that is a
true.
necessary part of growing up.
Yes,
That's
true.
a great point.
Because now, I'm not going to unlock my phone for my teacher. So guess what? You can't read that note to the class or that text to the class. But back in the day, if you got caught passing that little piece of paper, all of a sudden, someone knew something that you didn't want someone else to know.
Yeah.
In fact, if you had 30 kids in your class, all 30 of those someones knew something you didn't want someone else to know.
I just think it makes things easier now to sort of get involved in something else, whereas we really had to work at it when we were kids to write the notes and find a good place to hide and hide them.
But you won't let the schools crack down on it. If the school says no cell phones, then you get the parent that goes, well, I need my kid to have their phone in case there's a shooter.
Oh, God.
Okay?
Please.
But, I mean, how...
Stop.
Right. You know what I mean? Like...
Well, the note's one thing, but when the kid's sitting there, the teacher's speaking, and the kid's just scrolling through his phone the entire class time.
How about this? How about you leave the smartphone at home and take the
track phone.
the track phone to school, just in case you need
Flip
to text or
phone.
call.
Yep.
You don't get
phone,
internet, nothing like that.
3 numbers, mom, dad, and 911.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. Have teachers incorporated cell phone
Yes.
or smartphone use in their
Yes,
classes?
and it pissed us off because we would punish the kids. and not allow them to have their phones because they got caught lying or they got caught. So we
but
take
they
their
needed
phone
them
away,
for
and then the
class.
teacher goes, well, just take a picture on your phone and email it. No, jackass, or excuse me, jerkass. That's not how that
Yeah,
works.
not every kid has that ability to do that.
Right.
So that should not be.
But the
the
school-
teacher should not be able to assign that.
The school syllabus doesn't say cell phone is required, but then you're teaching the class and you're making cell phones required.
Right. Yeah, you shouldn't be able to do that.
So you're
You're encouraging it.
Right. You're part of your own problem. In some cases, not all.
I don't know. I guess,
Tristan said,
I wasn't in school when we had smartphones, so I'm sure if I had one when I was in school, I would have had it with me, and I would have been texting on it all the time and everything else.
Tristan said, not gonna lie, the first 20 minutes of my morning is spent on the pot scrolling Facebook Marketplace.
Ooh, I just read a study last week said you should wait till you've been awake for 20 minutes before you ever look at your phone to let your brain wake up properly. I just
All right,
read
Poindexter.
that. I just read that. That's all. I just read it. It was one of those things that just came across, So, I don't know. I'm not a doctor.
It seems like, and this again, outside looking in, it seems like everybody wants to take the time to bitch about a problem, but then when someone offers you a solution to the problem, oh, we can't do that. No. Can't take my phone away from my kid. What if there's an active shooter?
I just gave you the solution, and it's a great one, isn't it?
Can't have a track phone? Those things are unreliable. They need an iPhone with 37 apps.
All right, if you missed it earlier this morning, Lizzo's response to South Park's new Lizzo weight loss drug. We'll play that for you after Volbeat
I gotta go
on
get
the
my
Blitz.